the LGN British Grand Prix. And we're underway at Silverstone. It's Levi in first, who's going to lead the drivers down. Pre's in second, but Dom's had a great start. The McLaren driver as we come down to turn one, and it's Dom and Pre side by side. Dom gets to move on the Aston Martin driver. Gerald Chris now might send it down the inside of Pre. LJ is just behind him, and now he might send it down the inside of Gerald Chris. It's Levi in first, followed by Dom, and there's a spin and it's Sizzling H tumbling down the order. LJ is in fifth with AJP in sixth, Jack in seventh, Lunger in eighth, Ollie in ninth, JC in 10th. This is how AJP's race start went. Lights out, doesn't get the best of starts, gets a bit of oversteer, and that's LJ getting past, Sizzling H putting him under pressure, and Relic all getting the move. That's where Relic span, and that was AJP's race start. Here's Ollie's race start then, in P14. The lights go out, Ollie gets an okay start, gets his car just ahead of the Aston Martin driver of Sirius, almost goes into the back of JC. You see, that's where Relic went off the track, and then Ollie deciding to go round the outside of the Williams driver of Total JD and JC, and getting his car up and ahead of the Ferrari drivers. Active Buffalo in P10 has the Mercedes driver of Ollie just behind him and Tony JD. JC is just ahead of him as there's a yellow flag in Sector 2. And Harry Sanchez has retired from this race. And this is how AJP got past LJ on lap 1. Down the inside, nice clean overtake. And that saw AJP go up into P5. Gerald Crisp leads AJP, LJ, Jack Lungner and JC all into the pits. Agile and Blazer both stay out, so they're going to overtake everyone in the pits. Evan leads the drivers down. Agile finds himself in second. He's only scored points once here in the LGN League. Blazers into third. Gerald Crisp in fourth, followed by AJP, LJ, Lugner, JC, Tony JD, and then Ollie. Levi, Dom, Pre and Sirius and Jack are still in the pits. They're now coming out of the pits here on lap 3. The safety car has gone in. It's Evan that leads, followed by Agile. Blazer's got pressure from Gerald Crisp just behind. AJP follows the Alfa Romeo driver. But it's Evan who leads, followed by Agile. You can see Gerald Crisp tries to send it down the inside of the Williams driver of Blazer. LJ getting close with AJP, but Gerald Crisp might send himself round the outside of Blazer. Agile is under pressure from both drivers behind. Blazer having to defend Gerald Crisp, they're neck and neck. Active Buffalo gets a 3-second time penalty. Blazer now makes contact with the Haas driver of Agile, and they've made contact, and they're on the grass. And Lungner, JC, Tony JD, and Ollie, as well as Relic, all get the move done. Dom's got Pre just behind him here on lap 4. All the drivers very bunched up as they come around the corner. There's a yellow flag, and it's Active Buffalo who's had a spin. LJ's got his foot to the floor. He's trying to gain on Evan. AJP sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:33.0. The AlphaTauri driver is gaining on Evan, but it's AJP who leads, followed by Gerald Crisp. Tony JD leads Relic and Levi as they come around the corner, and it's JC and Lungner who've had an incident. Lungner's lost his front wing. Levi's gone off in the distance. Levi down into P13. Ollie then finds himself in P6. He's got JC just ahead of him. Relic finds himself behind the Mercedes driver, as well as Tony JD, Dom, Pre and Lungner. Ollie's under pressure from the Haas driver of Relic. As they come round this corner, all the cars are very close together. Ollie then is going to go slightly wide, and that's going to see Relic gets the move done on Ollie and puts his car up into P6, Ollie down into P7. Dom then is closing the gap on Ollie. Pre is following them via the slipstream. Dom might think about sending it down the inside of Ollie. He's going to go for it. It's going to be close round this corner, and Dom makes contact, and he's nearly taken out Jack, who comes round the corner. Dom drops down to P13. Reg's going to get oversteer. Evan's going to have to get past, and Ollie has been caught up in the collision, and Ollie is out of his home race here in Silverstone. The Mercedes driver is out of this race. AJP holds the lead with Gerald Crisp in second. LJ's up into third with JC and Pre just behind him. All the drivers getting ready for the safety car to come in here on lap 8. AJP leads the drivers down the straight in Silverstone. LJ's under pressure from JC. The Aston Martin driver of Pri is up into P5. He's going to put pressure on the Ferrari driver as they all get very close. JC makes the move and puts his car up into P3. There's contact between Pri and LJ, and that's going to see Levi and Tony JD gain on the drivers ahead. LJ's going slow. Levi's going around the outside and has got the move done on LJ. Relic is trying to produce the overtake on LJ. He finds himself in P10, the will to will. Both drivers, who's going to come out on top? Relic does, and Relic gets the move up into P9. Sirius is just behind them, as well as Lugner and Active Buffalo, but Relic gets the move done. Dom's going to attack Tony JD down the inside. Can he make the move down the inside? He can. And Tony JD has been overtaken by Dom. Now Relic might think about sending it down the inside of Jack, and he does. Jack's going to try and fight back, but Relic gets the move and puts himself up into P8. There's a battle brewing for P3. JC is currently in third, but he's got Pri and Levi in P4 and P5. Levi is in fifth. Normally we see him in the top three. Relic then might think about making another move here in this race. He's got Tony JD just ahead of him. He sends it down the inside and he's made contact. And Jack, the Alpine driver's gone straight into the Haas driver. They've both got wing damage and the Relic's made contact again. The Ferrari driver dodges them, but it's going to see Evan get front wing damage. JC currently holds the final podium position, but he's got Pri and Levi and Dom all fighting to see if they can get their way past the Ferrari. LJ leads Sirius and Active Buffalo and Lugner down towards Sector 2. Sirius is going to get the inside move on LJ to get the move done. Active Buffalo is also gaining on the AlphaTauri driver. He might think about sending it down the inside. And Active Buffalo does get the move. There's 2 laps to go. Levi is going to try and get the move done on JC, and he gets past. And Pri also tries to make the move, but he can't get past the Ferrari driver. JC's going to try and get his move back on Levi, but Levi just stays ahead of the Ferrari driver. There's not many laps to go now, but it's Levi up into P3. Levi, JC, Pri and Dom all very close. Levi gets the fastest lap of the race as they come down to turn 1, and Pri's made contact with the Ferrari driver, and there's an incident, and that's going to see Pri and JC fall down the order. Dom's up into P4. This is Sizzling H then getting past the Red Bull driver, and that's where Lugner has his incident. Sizzling H has to try and get round, but gets caught up. Gerald Crisp is in second place. He has AJP in front of him. Can he find a way to get into first place? He's 0.8 seconds behind AJP. AJP comes round the last corner and he's going to win his home Grand Prix, and he's going to make a statement with his second win of the season. McLaren get the 1-2 with Gerald Crisp finishing in third, and Levi comes off the podium and into P4. Tony JD is in 5th, JC in 6th, Pri in 7th, Lugner in 8th, Sizzling H in 9th, and Active Buffalo in P10. AJP wins the home race here in Silverstone. AJP is on the top of the podium, Dom finishes in P2, and McLaren get the 1-2. And Gerald Crisp finishes the podium in P3. Before you go anywhere, let's take a look at the Drivers and Constructors League standings. Here are the Drivers' League standings after today's race around Great Britain. Levi's in first on 212 points. Evan is in second. Gerald Crisp is in third. AJP is in fourth. Dom is in fifth. Sizzling H in sixth. Ollie in seventh. Luna goes up into eighth. Harry Sanchez is down into ninth. Totally JD is up into 10th. LJ is down into 11th. Pri is up into 12th. And Blazer is down into 13th. Jack is in 14th, and JC goes up into 15th. Sirius is down into 16th. Relic is in 17th. Active Buffalo is in 18th. Agile in 19th, and Entire YOLO is in 20th. And here are the Constructors League standings so far. Alpine are in first on 235 points. McLaren go into second. Red Bull are in third. Alfa Romeo are in 4th, Mercedes in 5th, Williams in 6th, Aston Martin are in 7th, AlphaTauri in 8th, Ferrari in 9th, and Haas are in 10th. Thank you for watching today's video. We will see you soon around Austria next week.